Our show is produced by Green Alliance, and I'm your host, Paul Iro. Our guest today is Louise Helton from One Sun Solar, and of course Annette Bubak from Green Alliance. We also have our co-host Stan Hannell from Drive Clean Energy on the phone. He's going to call in and talk to us about electric vehicles. Annette Bubak will be capturing the show for Facebook Live, and we encourage our Facebook Live audience to call in with questions or write in. And if you have questions for Louise, Annette, or Stan, our call-in number is 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-KDWN. Today we have a legislative update, and we're going to hear from Louise and see if we get any call-in listeners with some updates as well. Louise, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulously well. I was feted and regaled royally on Mother's Day, so I feel absolutely ready to rock and roll.
Very nice, very nice. And so what kind of new things happened last week that we haven't heard about yet?
Well, you have to, everything is in context of the 120-day calendar, so we are welcome to day 93.
93.
Wow, already.
I know. That means we have 27 more days that everything has to make it over the last hump.
Wow.
And the last hump, actually, you have until May 25th, actually, that all of our bills have to make it over out of the next house. So that means all the work sessions, all the committee work has to be done and sent to everything, and everything has to get over to the floor for their general session. And some of our bills we know are going to have to go into a conference committee. So it's, even though it seems like, oh, well, gosh, we have 27 more days, there's so many things happening in that 27 days that it's the most perilous time.
A lot of work.
It's actually crunch time then.
It is. So, I am very optimistic, but at the same time I realize all of the bills have huge challenges ahead of us because, we're trying to shepherd about 16 energy bills this session.
That's a lively session. Boy. Oh my goodness.
It is. But I always look at it from the standpoint of what happened in Colorado. And I don't know if anyone out there has been to Denver recently. I was there in April. Now, I lived in Denver years ago. I left when the economy tanked back in the 80s and everybody was saying, last one out of town, turn out the lights.
Well, I was the first guy in, and I turned the lights on and got a smoking deal in a house.
And that's exactly what happened in Denver. But when I was there last month, remember how our state bird was the crane?
Yes.
Before the economy tanked? I can tell you where it migrated to. Our state bird migrated to Denver. I could not believe all the growth.
Wow.
All of the incredible construction that's happening there, everything that's going on. And you can't help but follow back into when they had a similar legislative proposition that we're facing right now. And that is that they had a session where they had not our 16 bills, they had 42.
Wow.
42 bills that really was the engine to their green economy, their green energy economy.
Which stimulated their growth.
And it's been powering their state ever since.
That's excellent.
And of course, there's a confluence of wonderful things that happen when you've got a major driver and so many other economic things fall into place and just build on it. And so I am so looking forward to helping, doing whatever we can to shepherd our 16 bills, because if our 16 bills make part of the difference that we've seen in Denver, Katie bar the door. This is going to be remarkable.
Yes, and I grew up, I shouldn't say I grew up, I spent almost 20 years in Denver through that growth of the energy bills and becoming an energy state.
Mm-hmm.
And they're considered very green. Nevada's legislation in the work that I do in performance contracting is predominantly based on the Colorado legislation and has a lot of the same exact language. The consultants that worked with the Governor's Office of Energy came from Denver, and I worked closely with them while I was there. So you're right, it was the legislation that turned it around.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, there was legislation that happened here in 2002, I believe it was, that changed the way my work, performance contracting, works. And Nevada has now become one of the strongest states in the union to use that process.
And when you think of all the jobs that are going to be associated, if we can just pry the top off of this one, this session with more positive legislative opportunities, I mean, it's going to be wonderful.
Well, I'm looking forward. I was reading an article last night that prior to 2016, Nevada was the leader in renewable energy jobs in the whole country. I mean, we were bottom of the stack in a lot of things here, but we were top of the stack in renewable energy, and the legislation just killed that. So hopefully we get that turned around this year, and tell us how that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's really hard to imagine a steeper plummet, and that's what I'm hoping, is that we're going to see that in reverse, and have our jobs be coming back to us. Although it's going to be in a different way this time, that's for sure.
I heard the situation described by a guy one time who said, we're at 30,000 feet, we're out of gas, all we have to do is figure out where it is we're going to crash.
Yeah, that's
Let's
one way to
just find
look
a
at
place
it.
to crash. So
Well, we're
tell us how
not
we're gonna get some
crashing. We
elevation
are
again.
going to definitely elevate. And one of the best bills, of course, is AB 405 that is going to be bringing back the wonderful. It's been combined with AB 270. That's the net metering bill.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done is they've combined two different things, a customer's bill of rights, their solar bill of rights, as well as bringing net metering back in a way that will work for everyone without anyone having to worry about subsidies or having a lopsided relationship with folks who are producing and those who are not in the position to do that. So
well, we've got a lot of things that we're going to talk about here. And keep that thought.
Okay,
because
we'll talk about that
see
when we come
metering
back.
come back to us, and we'll be right back after a couple words from our sponsors. We are on Shades of Green on KDWN.